In this video, I'm sharing the 5 key takeaway from David Wang's 6-week Master Your PM Craft. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding whether this program might be right for you. So let's jump in. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Teresa and I'm a leadership and career coach based in Melbourne, Australia. And this channel is all about helping you do great work and make sure it gets seen. Because effort alone isn't enough. You need clarity, influence, and confidence. And if this sounds useful, make sure you subscribe to this channel for practical strategies that you can use at work. So a quick introduction about David Wang. He's a product leader and a coach with over 18 years of experience in product management. He runs his product academy while working full-time in leading companies in Australia and the US. He's helped over 4,000 students worldwide breaking into product management or just leveling up in their career. I'll drop all the details in his link in the below description. So here's key takeaway number 1, a psychological safe learning environment. Now the very first thing that really stood out to me was that learning culture that David created on day 1. With 10 to 12 participants in the cohort, you get this perfect balance between intimate discussion and a diverse perspective. So here's what I love the most. David established this principle right from the start. There is no right answer, it's all about how we perceive and navigate the context we're given. Now, why does this matter so much? Because in product management, we are constantly dealing with ambiguity. You're making decisions with imperfect information and you need to get comfortable with uncertainty. David's approach mirrors that real-world experience, and you won't always have the perfect answer, but you can develop conviction through structural thinking, validation, and discussion. Now, throughout the 6 weeks, I felt completely safe to share my experience, ask questions, even the ones I thought that might be quite obvious, and explore different perspectives without fear of judgment. When you're paying a high price for a course, and that psychological safety is what enables deep learning. You're not just holding back because you're worried about looking inexperienced. Now, the workshops were incredibly interactive with people from different backgrounds and the level of experience. Some were breaking into PMs, others had years of experience, and that mix created such a rich discussion. Everyone brought something unique to the table, and David facilitated those conversations effectively, always bringing us back to the core principle while respecting our individual contexts. Now, the second major takeaway is the structure of the course itself. David takes you through the entire product lifecycle from 0 to 1, and I mean very comprehensive. We're talking about everything from understanding your market and conducting research through discovery, validation, and all the way through to execution and optimization. But here's what makes this different from other courses I've taken. It's not just a checklist of processes and tools. David goes deep into the mindset that you need to cultivate as a product manager. So how do you approach problems? How do you ensure you're solving the root cause and not just treating symptoms? How do you build conviction in your decision when you're operating in uncertainty? Now, every module builds on previous ones, creating this cohesive mental model of how product gets built. You learn about hypothesis-driven development, how to make and test assumptions, and how to leverage various frameworks to clarify your thinking. For me, even with years of experience in PM, going back to these fundamentals was incredibly valuable. There were definitely those aha moments where something clicked in a new way, or where I realized, hey, I've been approaching something a little bit inefficiently. If you're someone who wants to truly understand the why behind the what, not just learning tools, but understanding when and why to use them, this course definitely delivers on that. The frameworks aren't presented as rigorous rules, but as a flexible tool that you can adapt with your specific context. And that's exactly how product management actually works in the real world. Key takeaway number 3 is practical AI integration through the PM process. Now, this is where the course really modernizes traditional product management education, and honestly, this was probably one of my favorite parts. David has integrated AI, specifically tools like ChatGPT, throughout the entire course, showing you how to leverage it at every single stage of the product lifecycle. We got hands-on practice with different prompts for market research, customer segmentation, idea validation, prioritization, you name it. David would show us his prompts, we'll practice them in real time, and then we'll break into small groups to compare what AI tools actually spit out. And here's a critical lesson. We didn't just accept what AI gave us. I remember in one of the workshops, we were doing market research on the TAM, SOM, and SAM. The AI gave us some numbers, and immediately people in the group were kind of like, well, wait, that seems a little bit too big, or hey, this segment doesn't seem quite aligned to what we know about this market. So we'll go back, refine our prompts, ask follow-up questions, and validate the information. By using AI, we all had kind of somewhat different answers, even though we had the same case study. And it does come back to a bit about, how much do you trust and validate the information that AI gives you, and how much do you prompt, how specific do you get. But at the end of the day, it is just to give you a baseline of working material, a bit of context, a bit of structure. But ultimately, you do have to go off and validate these things with your customers, have customer interviews, talk to the business internally as well. So I thought it was a really good discussion around AI as well. Now, this back and forth was so valuable because it taught us that AI is a tool to amplify our thinking, not to be replacing it. What I really appreciated is that David addressed the elephant in the room. A lot of people worried about AI is going to take our job. But what this course demonstrates is that AI is a complement to your work, not a replacement. It helps you 10x faster by structuring your initial thinking, giving you a starting point, and helping you explore different angles. But you still need judgment, critical thinking, validation, and most importantly, those discussions with your team and groups. By the end of the course, you have a sheet of different AI prompts, and you can use it in your everyday work. And because you've practiced with them, you're kind of not afraid to use them again. You understand their limitations and their strength. For anyone who's been hesitant about incorporating AI into your workflow, this course provides a really great practical hands-on introduction that builds confidence over time. Takeaway number 3, that hybrid learning format. So let's talk about the course structure. The program is a hybrid of self-paced learning and live virtual workshops. And for someone like me who's a visual learner and needs hands-on practice, this format was perfect for me. So here's how it worked. Every Monday, David released the week's modules. These are self-paced videos where he covers the theory and concepts. And then you have all the week, kind of Monday to Thursday, to watch it through at your own convenience. He's got these preload materials every Monday that he releases out, and is our kind of homework to go through all of this. It's basically a couple of videos pre-filmed by David, and he goes through some of the theory, the thinking, because by the time it hits Friday, which is our kind of live workshop, you're applying the theory into some of the exercises, real case scenarios that you might have some. And we've also nominated thinking about this one idea that, we want to build a product, and at the end we will develop a strategy, and he will mark that as well. So check out this.
And in practice, how long do you spend on this? In practice, you probably don't only spend like a few hours a week researching this. So I'm not going to tell you to spend 2 weeks doing market research and don't do anything. You might end up doing 2 weeks of the actual block of time to do it, but the hours that you invest into this time is going to be maybe a few hours a week doing research.
So if you are having a busy week at work, you can just watch them in the evening or over lunch breaks. There are no pressure to be online at a specific time for that learning portion. Then on Friday, there is a live workshop where you get to practice everything you learned that week. These workshops are scheduled for lunchtime and is quite convenient for me as I am in Australia, which works really well to my schedule. Now, the workshops are super interactive. You're doing exercises, breaking into small groups of 3 or 4, and having real discussions about what you're doing and how you're learning from each other. Now, I want to be honest, there was so much material that we didn't always get through every single exercise. Sometimes David would see that a particular topic was generating rich discussion, and he would just let us go way deeper on that rather than rushing us through to check off every activity. I actually really appreciate this because this flexibility is meant that we're learning responsive to what the cohort actually needed the most. So David also had an assistant, a real person, who would pop into different breakout groups during workshops. Now this was super helpful because David obviously couldn't be in every small group at once. So Brendan would make sure that we were on track to answering questions and providing guidance. It made the workshop feel super well supported and structured without being too rigid. The combination of self-paced theory and live practice really works. You get the flexibility to learn at your own pace during the week, but then you also get that accountability and real-time feedback during the Friday sessions. Look, I only managed to attend 4 out of 6 due to scheduling conflict, but I still found the course incredibly valuable. The self-paced material were comprehensive enough that I could catch up on what I missed, and the lifetime access meant that I could review workshops recordings later. So even if you can't make every single session, you still get tremendous value from the program. So my last takeaway is lifetime access and ongoing community support. Now this is a big one when considering the value proposition of all this, is that everything you get in this course is yours to keep forever. You're talking about lifetime access to the whole course material, the frameworks, the AI prompts, all the mirror board we're working on, everything. But it goes beyond just accessing the material. You're also becoming part of David's community. You can continue conversations with your cohort. You can connect with people from other cohorts, and you have ongoing access to David himself if you want to tap into his one-on-one coaching as well. So for me, this completely changed the value of what I paid for. At around $2,000, if this was just a 6-week course that disappeared after completion, it might feel very expensive. But when you realize you're getting a comprehensive toolkit that you return again and again throughout your career, whether you're stuck on a problem at work, starting a new role, or launching your own product, it becomes an incredibly long-term investment. So going through all of that, let me tell you who I think would benefit most for this course. First is if you're looking to break into product management. This course gives you an incredibly solid foundation. You'll understand the full product lifecycle, you will learn the fundamental framework and tools, and you'll get comfortable with the ambiguity that comes with PM work. The hands-on practice and community support will accelerate your learning curve significantly. The second person is if you are currently working as a product manager, want to leveling up. Especially if you want to incorporate AI into your workflow or revisit first principles. This is perfect. Sometimes when you are deep in your day-to-day work, we lose the sight of foundational thinking. Now, going back to basics has helped me identify areas where I develop insufficient habit and where I could be thinking more strategically. Next is if you are a senior product manager or a product leader. This course is still valuable. I know that might sound surprising, but the AI integration alone makes it worth considering. Plus, having a refresher on fundamentals and structured toolkit you can share with your team is incredibly helpful when you're leading others. And lastly, if you are a founder building a product, these frameworks and tools will help you think more systematically about your product development. You'll avoid common pitfalls and build better conviction in your decision making. So before I finish up, I want to be completely transparent. 6 weeks isn't enough time to become an expert in product management. Nothing replaces real world experience in the field. Every organization is different, every product's different, and you'll continue learning throughout your entire career. But what this course does exceptionally well is that it gives you the foundation mindset and toolkit to navigate the ongoing learning journeys with confidence. You'll learn how to form hypotheses, test assumptions, build convictions, and make decisions even when you don't have perfect information, which, let's be honest, is basically every day in product management. And the combination of comprehensive foundations, practical AI integrations, that psychological safety in learning, an effective hybrid format, and lifetime access to materials and community makes this course stand out from the others. For around $2,000, I generally believe is one of my top best investments I've made in my professional development. And if you're serious about product management and want a modern, practical approach that you can immediately apply in your work, I highly recommend checking out some of David's courses. I'll put them in the link below. I've also secured a 25 discount code that you can use in his next cohort. So just use the code Teresa at checkout. If you find this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. And share any other courses that was really valuable for you in the link below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.